Hello and welcome to English 37. This is Science Fiction Liter, Reimagining Reality. It's really tough to choose literature in any class, but in a class like this, it's particularly difficult because there's so much great science fiction literature out there. So I give you a small smattering, a small sample of science fiction to read and to discuss this quarter. So we'll kind of just touch on a few major seminal works and kind of look at the development of science fiction over time. I guess one thing to note really here is how it all started. It really started with the introduction of science and positivistic scientific methodology, and that kind of thinking kind of created a cleavage between religious thought and scientific thought. And as more and more people began to read and to think in this more scientific way, it pushed science fiction literature onto the stage, really with Mary Shelley probably. But there are other moments that we could look at before that also might signal science fiction literature. But we'll take a look at some of these moments, and we'll also just take a look at literature in general. This video I've made just to introduce you generally to the class, and then also to go over some of the different features of the course to orient you to its structure. Once you kind of understand the structure, it should be pretty easy for you. Basically, in whole, what you're doing is weekly reading and journaling in your portfolio. Just one page for approximately every 50, or just follow the calendar. It'll tell you what to do. But essentially, you want to do some individual responses or individual reflections to the reading before you then go to a group discussion and discuss the group the science fiction literature that you're reading. That's kind of generally how the process works. Let me kind of click in here to help you look over the class so you can kind of understand how to use it. Okay, so here's a look at the class. I'm just going to run down pretty quickly the different features of the class and help you navigate the class in the best way you can. So do know we start at the home page here, and on the home page you'll find just sometimes some announcements up at the top that will help you kind of move along the class. And then also on the right hand side of the page, you can't quite see it, but off to the right here are things that say coming up. So those can also be helpful to you to help you kind of figure out what's coming up and what's due. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully you'll all just also kind of read and go over the syllabus. In fact, you need to read and go over the syllabus and submit a syllabus kind of contract or questionnaire to the assignments area that's let me know that you've read and understand the syllabus. Okay, I'm not going to do that here. Another really great way to, I think, kind of navigate the class is using the calendar. So I suggest using this calendar to help you navigate the course. These are kind of suggested dates to finish things, or dates that they're kind of assigned, to create better discussion in the class. Not completely finicky about due dates, meaning I'll give you some flexibility to kind of finish things, but mostly I have things due on Wednesday midnight and Sunday midnight. And so you can see as we're looking here at a compressed calendar, because this video I'm making with a 6-week course, things move pretty fast. So you're going to need to stay up on the reading and kind of try to stay up on the discussions. And it's important you do that because, at the very end of the quarter, you will have to write a final paper. And so in writing that final paper, you're going to be asked to kind of combine and connect at least 2 or possibly more of the works you read throughout the quarter. Okay, so that's going to be found here on the syllabus. You can kind of look more carefully at that at your own leisure. Okay, so another way to kind of move through the class is to use the modules. And so you can, just basically move through sequentially. Just go through one at a time. And if you did this, you would actually complete the course just fine, because it would have you do all the things that are also on the calendar. Okay? So those are 2 kind of separate ways, I think, that are useful for students to go through the class in different ways. One is using this kind of graphic view of the calendar and making sure that you're on track daily. The other is to just move kind of sequentially through the modules, one module at a time. Okay? And that would be also useful. The one thing that's different about my class than other classes is the use of this, what we call the portfolio. And so you can see here, this is the portfolio. Your portfolio, essentially, I've already created your portfolio, so you just click on it, and then to use it, you just essentially just click reply. And so any person who just clicks reply right here in their portfolio can put your journals in here. So basically, you just place your homework as you go, and then I'll just be able to give you credit for doing these journals before you go on to discuss things as a group. Okay, it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy, and I pretty much give you credit for any type of journal you do. I've provided 2 different types of journals here. One is a reading journal where you just summarize and analyze afterwards and then ask a question. The other one is when you kind of take notes and kind of think as you go. You can use either of these, both of these, or another style if you kind of would rather. Okay, so that's it for the class here, for the introduction, for video introduction and orientation. Hope I've answered your questions. If not, feel free to get a hold of me and we'll figure it out. Okay, best of luck, and click on in and just get started.